Hi everyone, welcome back. In this demo, we are going to see two things: how to deploy a API. Especially, we are going to see the ASP.NET Web API demo. We are going to create one Web API and we are going to consume it. Those two things are going to be two separate applications. Web API is a separate web application, whereas the consuming application is another web application. Probably it might be a ASP.NET application. So when you are trying to give the request within the same website, no problem, especially an AJAX call. Through an AJAX call, if you want to consume the RESTful services, no issues will happen. Whereas if it is a different domains, then we'll get a cross-origin resource sharing issue. We are going to see how we are going to tackle that. So to do this, first let me open the Visual Studio. And remember, whenever you are working with Visual Studio, especially with Azure, please open that as administrator. You need to have that elevated privilege of running the application as an administrator. So that's a good practice. So I'm just opening my Visual Studio by running it as an administrator. Okay, so we have the Visual Studio now. Let me just simply create one new project. So the project that we are going to create here is ASP.NET MVC web application. Sorry, web API. So select the ASP.NET web application. I'm just saying sample web API in ASP.NET. In the desktop, let me just create that. I'm selecting empty web API option and press OK. So this will create the web API application for you. And in this web API application, you people will already know, like we can create the RESTful services very easily. So we are going to simply create one RESTful services. Then we are going to publish it. This time without a profile, we are going to publish. Everything we are going to do with the help of the Visual Studio. So let me create that project. Yes. Now you can see the project is successfully created. Now I'm going to simply create a controller. So right click, add a controller. I'm adding a web API to controller empty. With this template, let me just try to create one controller. This will create that values controller. Let it be, that's a default one, values controller. Let me add that. Okay, so we have the very basic one. In this, the values controller is derived from API controller. We are going to simply specify some methods. Let me just give a GET request. So whenever I call API/values, B in caps, I'm going to call a public enumerable of string. Like whenever I give a GET request, I'm going to return new string array with these values, value 1, value 2, etc. I'm making it very simple. So we have a values controller. So whenever I run this application and when I hit API/values/ that local host, that full path followed by API/values, we are going to get this one. So let me just try to run this and show it to you in the local system first. Yes. So 10396 followed by /API/values. So we are going to hit that RESTful service. So we are going to get the data since we are using Google Chrome. So the MIME type will be XML, we'll be giving the request via XML for Google Chrome by default. So we get the data in XML. If you want to give that if you are giving it in other browser, you will get that as a JSON. So anyway, we have, when I hit this endpoint, we are getting this data, value 1 and value 2. Now, the task that we are going to do here is, I want to publish this. So to publish it, we are not going to use any profile concepts. We are going to simply use the Visual Studio to publish this application. So let me just right click and say publish. So when I say publish, it's asking you, are you going to create a new one or you're going to select the existing one? So I'm just going to select the new one, and because in the previous video whatever we have created, we have deleted that. So let me just create a new one and create the profile. So it takes my karthik.tukrishna@capgemini.com. So here we are going to specify everything, like I'm just going to change the resource group alone, like I'm not going to use the existing one. Let me say demo RG. Remaining things are same. If you see that, sample web API, Visual Studio Professional, and the hosting plan, ensure that we are using the S1. Why? Because if you want to work with the cross-origin resource sharing feature, that feature is not available in the free tier. So we need to just create a new service plan. So sample API, sample web plan in West Europe with S1 and press OK. So I don't want the application insights as of now. If you want, you can even create the database and the storage account and all those stuff, but I'm not going to do that now. Let me click create. So it's going to create this and it will try to deploy our application inside our Azure. Let me just it will take some time. So now it got published successfully. Okay, it's going on. Okay, sorry, this one is ready. Let me just click the publish, so that this particular web API will be published in that demo RG resource group, and it will try to open that site as well. Meanwhile, we can just check it out here, like in the resource groups. You should have this demo RG. Inside the demo RG, you have the service plan, sample web plan, which is S1, and this is your sample web API, and it started running. You can just simply check Azure websites.net/API/values. So you can see that it's working properly. So this is one web API, but this has been published via the Visual Studio. This is one side. Now we are going to create another web application which is going to consume this. So to do this, I'm using the Visual Studio once again. So let me stop this. File, close the solution. Create a new project, this time file, new project. This time ASP.NET web application. So the project is sample web app. Press OK. I'm going to create an empty web forms and press OK. So let it get create. So this is a sample ASP.NET, just normal, sorry, not sample, a normal ASP.NET application. It is not ASP.NET MVC as well. A simple ASP.NET application is ready. So in this simple ASP.NET, I'm going to have a very normal index.html file. So to create that, right click, add a new item. Okay, a normal HTML. So select the HTML and let me name this as index.html. I'm just adding a HTML file. So in this HTML file, we are going to write some jQuery code which is going to access the web API using the jQuery function. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to write a simple code. The title, let me say this is a sample web app, and the body tag, let me have one button. So in this button, I'm saying accessing the web API using jQuery. And let me have a script tag. So in this script tag, we are going to write our script, and before that I want to refer the jQuery, right? So to refer the jQuery, src equal to, so this time let me use some CDN. So I'm using this jQuery CDN, cdnjs.com. I'm just looking for jQuery. So we got this. So let me copy the CDN, come back to my code. Okay, so we have the jQuery CDN. You can take it from the jQuery website also, no issue. Then I'm going to write the script. The script here is, when this button is clicked, I want to give a call towards that particular API which we have created in the previous application, okay, which is deployed in the Azure. So let me give a ID for this button as btn ajax, and in the script tag, when this is jQuery, actually it will start like this, jQuery. So inside the jQuery we need to pass the document. So jQuery can be replaced with, okay, document, and there is a function named ready function. Whenever the DOM is ready, this callback will be executed. This is a basic stuff of jQuery. Okay, so here this jQuery can be replaced with $. So $ is an alias for jQuery, and in fact I don't want this document.ready and all. Directly we can write out the shorthand form. This is a shortcut way of writing all those things. So when the DOM is ready, I want to select this button. So to select this button, I'm using the jQuery selector hash btn ajax. So we got that button, and I'm going to bind it with the click event. Whenever the button is clicked, I want to execute this code. So I'm just providing the handler. So simple, get that button. When I click that button, I want to execute this code. So I'm going to use I'm going to give an ajax call. So to give an ajax call, $.ajax. In this ajax, it's going to return a promise. So I'm using then method. So if something goes wrong, I'm using the catch method. So in this then method will be executed whenever this ajax, whatever promise has been written, if it is successfully resolved, this then method will be executed. If something goes wrong, the catch method will be executed. So the the callback here, I'm giving us, I will get the response. I'm just going to simply print that in the console screen, nothing special. So console.log the response. And if something goes wrong, cache the error and just in the console screen, I'm just going to put that. So console.log that error. So in this ajax, we are going to provide the settings as an object. In this object, I'm going to give the method as a get method, get request, and the URL. So what's the URL? So the URL that we have used here, this one. So I'm just going to, it will work with HTTPS as well as with HTTP. So I'm just trying with HTTP here. Okay, so I'm just copying the HTTP. So come back to the code, paste it. So we have specified it. So when I click this button, it should work. So once again, this is going to be another application. Okay, or otherwise we'll just run it locally, no issue. So save this. I'm not going to deploy it. Let me just run this from IIS Express. That is, I'm running this locally, and in turn it's going to call the API which is available in the Azure. Okay, so when I run this, there will be a problem occur. Like, look at this. This is localhost. If it is in the same localhost 10559, if the request has been made, it will work. Whereas the domain is changed, right? So when I open the developer tools, you can see that when I click that button, what happens? You see in the network, right, there is an error. Okay, that's okay. Favorite icon. In the network, I want to see a AJAX call. So when I click, it's trying to give the request. Okay, it is cancelled. Let me see what is the problem. So the problem is here. It says that you are trying to access this one from this one, which is cross origin. Okay, it is not in the same domain. So access to the XML HTTP request at this one from this origin has been blocked by CORS policy. So when I create the API, in that API, if I have enabled this CORS, you should not get this error. Instead of that, you should get the result. So how to enable that? That's what we are going to see now. So in order to enable this, we need to go into that particular application. Let me just open the portal.azure.com, which I have done already. So in this is the application. This needs to be enabled with cross-origin resource sharing. So let me open that. Once you open that, when you come down all the way in the left hand side blade, you can see there is an option called CORS. In the API, can you see that? There is an option called CORS. So let me just click that CORS, and here we need to allow the origin. It will ask you enable the now they have given that access control allow credentials. If you want, you can provide, enable that, and also from where you are going to allow it. So they are just trying to give you this option. What is this cross origin resource sharing? It allows the JavaScript code running in a browser on an external host to interact with your backend. This is your backend. Specify the origin that should be allowed to mark cross origin calls. For example, you can use something like this. So to allow everything, so whomever is giving a request, for example, if I give http example.com on this port, means only that port from that domain will be having an access, otherwise it won't. But in order to allow everyone, just use star. So I'm just simply saying star. That is not okay. So I'm giving everyone, so you can just simply say star and save it. I'm giving the permission to everyone. If you want to provide the credentials, what is that? You can see set the access control allow credential response header to true, then only we can access it. So whoever is trying to access it, if I select this, in this, if I set the header in the get request, I need to set this header with the value true, then we can do that. But I'm not doing that one. I'm giving the permission to everyone. So after giving the permission and I have updated it, now I'm trying to run the same program. Let me see what happens. So clear the screen, click. Why? Let me refresh. Click. Have I refreshed it? Just a minute. Sample as your API values. Okay. Just do I need to refresh? demo.org. So cross origin resource sharing, I've given that star. Wildcard origin, okay, I've given everyone. Let me delete this and recreate it. So I'm giving the permission to everyone. Save it. It's updating the API CORS. So it has been updated successfully. So let me try this now. Giving that request, clear the screen, refresh, click. No access header is presented on the requested resources. Okay, but I have given that request now. Let me just check it out once again. Enable the access control allow credentials. So I have just given this and let me try now. Okay. Priorly that checkbox was not there. Let me check it out once again. Click. It has blocked it. They are saying that you need to we have to provide this header. Okay, let me just see that what is there in the network. When I click, in the request header, first let me check whether that is working or not. This will be simple. Why it is not working? Probably the mistake here is like we have used HTTP, right? And in our code we are trying to communicate via HTTP. Here I have given as HTTP. Let me give HTTPS and check it out. So save it, stop, and this time ensure that like allow origin. Yes, we have done it. Now obviously it should work. Let me check. So now my sample web API which I have created, it has been enabled with cross origin resource sharing. So in the console screen, when I click this button, it should get that resource. Let me check. Yes, so we got that. So this is all about the cross origin resource sharing, how to enable the cross origin resource sharing. Not only that, we have even seen how to deploy everything. I have not created the app service plan and all those stuff in the Azure portal. We have done everything with the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so